Welcome everyone, this is your Riffs Level 1 video. So we're going to do some basic riffs and kind of talk about some of the mechanics that you'd need at this level. Let's just get started. Okay, so the first thing we alluded to in the last video was needing to use hammer-ons and pull-offs, right? So we asked you to do the A blues pentatonic scale and to use hammer-ons on the way up, which sound like this. So you're playing the first note, and then you're using your left hand, the fingers on your left hand, to hammer down an extra note. So it's two notes or three notes for the price of one pick. And then we're going to do the opposite of that, which is a pull-off. So you play the high note and peel your fingers off. So we're going to do that all the way down the scale. Oops, sorry. Last one should be a pull-off. Good. Okay, so reviewing that, those are the basics. Now, as far as hammer-ons and pull-offs, you can do all sorts of combos. You can stay on the same string if you wanted. You could do pull-off. You could do hammer-on. There's lots of variations. You can even do a hammer-on and pull-off combination. So one single pick note, hammer-on, pull-off. That's a really cool one. You can do it slow, you can do it fast, that's kind of up to you, but you should definitely practice that. So the next kind of modification we can do to a note is a bend. Now bends, you can do a lot of cool things with it, but the idea is that you're going to take a single note and you're going to either pull it down or push it up, kind of depending on where you're at. Typically, the top two strings, if you pull down, you'd fall off the edge of the fretboard, so we don't want to do that. So typically you're going to go up on those. The middle two strings, the third and fourth string, you can either go down or up. And then typically if it's these top two strings, the sixth and the fifth string, you're going to bend down. Now you might have noticed I was using multiple fingers for my bends. The reason is these fingers are really, really weak. You don't have quite the control that you would need. So what we do is we add the other ones behind the note and you get the strength of all three fingers to do that. Now we can bend a couple different ways. You can bend from this note up to this note. That's called a half step bend. Or we can bend from this note to this note, which is a whole step bend. That was a whole step down bend. Whole step up bend. Right? So that's the basics. Now you can take that with, I would say start with any of the higher notes on the strings. So from your blues scale you could do kind of a good practice just to kind of get comfortable and use different fingers on bends. Later down the line, we'll work on bending with your first or your second finger, but that's not your first step. That's like a level 2 or 3 kind of thing, so we'll come back. Okay, so just going over those, I want you to pause this video and for 1 minute straight, just practice your bends, okay? So I want you to go string by string and do those. Okay, now there's a couple modifications to the bend that you'll find in lots of different songs. One is what we call the pre-bend. So normally we would bend up a whole step, but kind of an advanced version is you can make that bend before you pick it. Then you pick it after it's bent, and you release it. So that's called a pre-bend. So that's very common in Eagles music. They do it a lot. Allman Brothers do it a lot. Cool. Now the next one you can do is a double bend. Now a double bend is you can do a bend up and then quickly do a second one. And that's pretty useful. So practice that one if you get a chance. And I can do it with my pinky, or I can do it with my ring. Okay, the last little bend modification we can do is that we can bend up and then pick while we're releasing. So Very common.